I just got 2 pairs of those sweat shorts too.
Yeah, those are dope. They're fire.
Are they similar to the ones that Spit and Chicklets did with like the twill on it?
Don't know. I've never seen those, but they're pretty typical. Like they sent me mediums for some fucking reason, so I don't even have a pair that I can wear. But the quality is nice.
Okay, his device is not connected, but he's coming on right now.
Okay, cool.
What?
Come on, give it to me.
we were randomly hoping that you were going to be wearing a light blue shirt, so we pressed record in case you showed up. We're going to lose our minds. Okay.
We have Coors, and then we have Fleischmann's Salon. Those are the 2 ads today, and I have to get the Coors ad because we have a special little link at the end of it.
Okay, you want me to do Fleischmann off the top?
I think we got to do Coors off the top because it's presenting.
Okay. Presenting. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. I'll do Fleischmann in the middle then. So yep. You lead us off with Coors, and then okay, go ahead.
Yep. All right. Hold on.
The most important episode of the year thus far, and potentially the most important episode we do all year, right here, right now.
It's another edition of We Gotta Believe. It's the Mets Fans Anonymous episode. It's the therapy episode. It's everything that we were as a podcast. Once we started, Uncle Stevie came in and we started feeling ourselves. We started flying. We said, "Oh, look at that sun. Let's go fly close to that thing." And then the wings started
What are my wings made out of? What are my wings made out of? Let's go find out near the surface of the sun.
And we start cooking on the sun, on a beautiful sun. We love summer. Summer is flying by way too fast. Sometimes you just want to slow summer down, and that's why this episode is presented by Coors Light, the official beer of slowing down summer. I want to slow down summer so much right now. I want to take the time stone, Dr. Strange style, and I want to rewind to that Saturday before the All-Star break when Edwin Diaz just threw nothing but sliders and struck out the Pirates, and it was nothing but gravy. It was mwah. It was beautiful. Everyone was sucking the trumpet stick. It was wonderful, and everyone was chill. Everyone was chill, and that's what Coors Light does. It helps you chill. It's a beer that's made to chill. It's also the official beer of slowing down summer because as the beer that's made to chill, we want you to savor every second of summer. Get Coors Light in the new look with the new look delivered straight to your door with Drizzly or Instacart by going to CoorsLight.com/believe. You got to put the believe at the end. You throw it up, you get your little chill sunglasses. So make sure to go to CoorsLight.com/believe. And again, we're going to celebrate responsibly today. We're going to celebrate responsibly the rest of the second half. We're going to celebrate responsibly because we're still going to the parade in November. From here all the way to the Coors Brewing Company, Golden, Colorado.
This is when you separate the men from the boys, the women from the girls, from the believers to the non-believers, the contenders and the pretenders. This is the episode right here where you find out what you're made of, and you find out whether A, you have a brain, and B, whether you belong in the Church of Coentology. We will find out. Right now, if this was a Jeff Wilpon-owned team and Lindor was hurt and DeGrom gets hurt and Diaz blows that save, it would have been the first ever first place console for me. I think I would have done it. I think I would have pulled the trigger and said, yes, we're in first place, but I see the trajectory of this team and I know where we're going, and it's the big C. It's a console. But that's where I gotta say, this is where I'm saying you have to decide who you are as a person and as a Mets fan now. Do you believe in Steve Cohen? Do you believe in these guys right now? We have to believe. We got to believe. And right now we are still in first place. Right now, in a game of ups and downs, a long season of runs with peaks and valleys, right now we are in a deep, deep valley. And yet and still first place. Yet it takes us plummeting and being injured and embarrassing ourselves to finally break down that 4-game wall. And yes, the Phillies are getting healthy themselves, and the Braves are always the Braves, and there's starting to be a little bit more heat. Sure. but it's taking us finally coming down, them finally coming up, for them to break down that 4-game lead and start to get within striking distance. And I, as a 35-year straight hater and my first inaugural rookie season as Positive K, still have hope that this team is good enough, this infrastructure is strong enough, and I am mentally capable and strong enough of maintaining some faith in this squad. You have to remember a couple things, Clem, because I think people are almost. Let me see if I can articulate this correctly. We are so ahead of schedule in a 5-year Steve Cohen plan that we have the luxury to be screaming and yelling about this season. This season should have just been, we are starting a new regime. Let's start to move forward. Let's have some positive things to grow on, and we'll see what year 2 brings, and hopefully within 3 to 5, we're actually contending. We were in first place for 4 fucking months straight, and that allowed our fan base, which is an awful fan base, by the way, an impossible fan base to please.
We're part of it.
Allowed our stupid fucking fan base to get greedy and be upset about this season potentially falling apart. So what I say to you is this: as a guy who used to be so negative and passionate and overreacting, that always stemmed from 2 things. One, we always kind of had a dog shit team that was like a couple good players and then a couple Band-Aids and then a couple cheap guys and a couple aging veterans. Now we have a good team, which has been injured and at times underperforming, but you have a talented lineup with a boatload of potential. And 2, we have Steve Cohen. We have infrastructure. We have guys that we know will make the right moves or the non-moves, but we have guys who we know are going to make the correct decisions. And so I am still on my 5-year plan here. And I am just happy that this team is going in the right direction. I think that there's an opportunity to make some noise now, but you have to remember that this is year 1 of a new regime that is overachieving. This is a team that for a huge chunk of time had 5 of 8 starting position players out. They have used 51 total players throughout all their fucking mixing and matching lineups. And despite all of that, they still had their best first half in like 6 years. And we're still complaining and yelling and upset. I get it. It's been ugly. But big picture, it's still, we're still okay. We're still ahead of where we should be. And despite how ugly it is, you can't lose fucking sight of that.
Kevin Francis Clancy. Kevin Francis Clancy, folks. That's the same man that was counseling the Sizen on opening day. It's been done before. It's going to be done again. That is what we needed to hear. That was exactly, we're all in this together. We all have our sponsors. You're my sponsor. I'm your sponsor. We're buddy system. I don't think that's a very bad idea if this was a real. However, everything's going to be okay. This is also admittedly coming.
Wait, let me say this. Maybe not. Maybe this season is not. But even that is okay because it's a more of a long-term plan. So I would not fault this team. I know I'm babbling here. I'll let you have your moment in a second. But if DeGrom is actually out for a long time and Lindor's out for a long time, then I'm going to throw out a big C. We are fucked. And that would be, to me, it would be like, okay, this team took on everything they possibly could, and they finally, after valiantly fighting and holding up for 4 months, they finally succumbed to, like, injuries that nobody. I see these other teams. I see people saying, "Oh, the NL East, everybody's dealt with injuries." I have not focused on the Phillies lineup or the Braves lineup. I would almost be willing to bet the fucking rent that no one's been as ravaged as the Mets have. So even if they fall apart, I still think it's okay, and I don't think they're gonna. I think it will be okay in a true sense of the word. But continue. I'm sorry.
No, you're right. You're 100% right. And this is coming from someone like me who thankfully fell asleep in the 8th inning of Saturday and didn't see the carnage that ensued on everyone's television. Which, by the way, and listen, I know Edwin Diaz is going to take shit. He has to take shit for giving up the grand slam and he points like Robles. Seth Lugo fucked him too, and this is a Lugo guy saying that. Like Seth Lugo lost that game, Edwin Diaz got the L in the box score. That's just the fucking fact of life. The other thing is the C word. The C word, that's a stamp. When you cancel the sizing, you're done. You're done. And I said Frank wanted to come on. And well, we're going to have Frank on at some point because we always, and I think it's almost you have to have the two sides, the perfectly balanced sides of Mets fandom. But like, the thing about Frank canceled in like April. This is when you can complain. This is when you can say the sky is falling. Is when you lose the series to the Pirates, you lose the season series to the Pirates. They rip your guts out every fucking game along the way, and then you lose the best pitcher in the universe. And let's be honest, if everything goes according to plan, the best player on this team when all things said and done, Francisco Lindor should become the best player on the team with his glove, with his bat. And by the way, did you see what Edwin Diaz said after that? He goes, I didn't. Luis Rojas said, he goes, Edwin, he likes having Lindor out there. He gasses him up. He is the best pitching coach in the game. So the Lindors can shut the fuck up for good now. Everything's going to be okay.
Isn't that funny how the same guys who wanted him off this team, who thought it was a bad deal, who hate him, who think he's garbage, are now scared and are now upset that he's injured? It's like, well, you got your fucking wish. Because he's probably not going to be out there for weeks, and he probably won't be the same the rest of the year. But I thought that Francisco Lindor was trash. I thought you guys didn't think he was good. So what are you so upset about, you fucking Lindork motherfucking liars? And I got these people being like, wait a minute. You're telling me I can't criticize his first half and know that him figuring out is an important piece of the puzzle and all? Yes, that's all true. That's not what you fucking assholes did. You guys were vocal, loudmouth dickheads to a guy when he was struggling. If there's ever been a time to stick by a struggling, overpaid, yet important superstar, it was now. Because they held a 4-game lead the whole time. If there was ever a time to be going, shit, like, okay, he totally sucks right now, but the team is still winning. The division's garbage. So why don't we give him some love? Why don't we give him some support as a fan base? Because it's not like we can, if the Mets were 10 games back and it was basically because our superstar shortstop couldn't get the job done, then yeah, he deserves some heat. But right now we had the slack. We had the perfect opportunity to continue to support him. Like, I'm not an idiot. I don't have my head in the sand. I know he's been bad, but I made the conscious choice to say, let's support him in the first couple months of a 120-month deal because we're still winning. And now they have the audacity to be upset and scared and nervous and, oh no, he's hurt. If I was Lindor, I'd be like, fuck you guys. I'm taking the rest of the year off because this fan base doesn't deserve me trying to push through this injury. It's ridiculous.
By the way, he's been a fucking Iron Man all season long. I think he took 1 or 2 days off total.
Yeah.
Meanwhile, you have like Aaron Judge who like, oh, my legs don't feel so great today. I want a day off because I'm not hitting at the plate. Dude, he struggled the entire stretch and didn't want a single day off. He said, I need to play as often as possible. Yes, everything. I mean, dude's been a workhorse. You can't even deny it. Hitting aside, like, it doesn't matter that his average isn't where it needs to be. And, like, I'd be interested. They put him on the 10-day IL, and they're saying it's going to be 4 to 6 weeks probably, so they're going to extend it. But, like, he's the type of gamer where if he sees the team struggling, I could totally see himself, like, rushing himself back. I don't want that.
But again, it's year one. It's year one of a 10-year deal for him. It's year one of a 5-year plan for Steve Cohen. It's his year one of a new regime. It ain't the time to be powering through. I'll be honest. I hate to even say it because I don't want to wave the white flag, but he does. Lindor needs to join the. I gotta be honest. I didn't love him saying that. I have no problem with that.
It was a tough look.
Yep.
I don't need to hear that my closer can't close if there's someone else is playing shortstop. But if DeGrom and Lindor are out, are you really that hardcore aggressive of buyers at the deadline anymore? It's going to be a tough sell to the fan base to be like, you've been in first place for basically the whole year, and now is when we should have been going pedal to the metal. Let's go get Barrios. Let's go get Bryant. But now I think it might be smart, if those guys are out, to say, we'll see you next year when we're really ready, because it's hard to do in New York. But if there's one fan base that I think is smart enough, we're assholes, but I think we're smart enough to understand that if there's full transparency and honesty, and they said, I don't think we're no longer, we already were the worst division leader in baseball. The thought of us really getting through Padres and White Sox and some of these stud teams, probably slim to none anyway. So why mortgage the future now? I wouldn't have a problem with that, but that's all contingent upon if DeGrom and Lindor are, and Carrasco can't come back, and Syndergaard gets pushed back, and all this shit. But does that change the future for this deadline? That's a question as well.
If DeGrom, God forbid, is out, it's something serious here. Because again, this is just getting worse every fucking time. It's like, like a hip, it's a leg, it's a this, and then it's like shoulder. It's like, oh no, shoulder. And now we're going forearm strain. This is just it's honestly like, remember how we keep being like, I don't understand. He keeps adding a mile per hour to his fastball and getting better. His body is like, same thing, dude. I don't know what the fuck's going on. Now everything, there's just alarms going off. It's basically the fucking timelines from Loki. Everything's just branching out, and I feel like we're at the fucking point of no return with him. It's terrifying. Mm-hmm. But at that point, if anything's serious with DeGrom, I just consult baseball. I don't even consult the sizing. I consult baseball as like a sport that I follow until DeGrom comes back healthy.
Okay, so Chef Jay Hay cooked up some nuggies for me, and he sent over the Zips projection. And Kyle was telling me there's a projection right now that has the Mets coming in third place. You got Baseball Reference versus Picota versus this versus that. So there's like a million different projections, but this one I found interesting. And he sent me this the middle of the Pirates game, which I think was kind of assuming a loss. So I don't know if that one win changed anything. But as of July 8th, the Mets were projected to win 89 games and win the division, with the Braves coming in second place, 6 games back. As of July 18th, after we began to skid, it had the Mets winning 87 games and beating the Phillies by 3 games. Now they project, starting July 18th, if DeGrom pitches 35 innings to close out the season, so you say what? That's maybe 6 starts-ish, 6 inning starts. They have the Mets winning 85 games and beating the Phillies by 1. And then the final projection was if DeGrom is out for the season, they have the Mets winning 84 games, coming in second place to the Phillies by 1 game. So it all kind of, yes, things change quickly in baseball. From, July 8th, we were projected to win by 6 games, going to cruise to the division crown. All of a sudden, 2 weeks later, we're in trouble. But it seems like, according to Zips, a lot's going to depend on DeGrom and his health. So, if he is out for the season, and these are projections, so who knows? But, man, is it tough to be like, well, the projection only has us losing by 1 game. So, let's still make that move, or let's still try to go to the playoffs. But I feel like DeGrom is so imperative to any actual long-term.
Oh, we lost. DeGrom is imperative to any kind of long-term thing for sure. And as our guy here, Ryan, has just said, the Cubs were in first, lost 10 in a row. Anything can happen for sure. But
So if it, there's so much riding right now, but it's all, right there, first, second place. It's like, calm down.
And do not even think of throwing the amount of C words I saw in my mentions, and then people saying, oh, listen, all the people who consulted, the Franks and the Tanks of the fan base were right. When you consulted in April, you can't consult when this team was in first place, the worst, the supposed best player on the team was playing like shit, and we just kept winning. The only reason people were jumping off of buildings is because we were losing to the Pirates, and we lost our best 2 players, hypothetically, to injury potentially for the rest of the fucking season. That does not, the console, you can't, retroactively be like, I told you so. That's not how the console works. And if you want to console...
If you've been consoling for 4 months straight, and they never lost that 4-game lead, you're wrong. You were wrong. And it's like I said to Frank, you're like Max Kellerman predicting the downfall of Brady. Eventually you're going to be right, but you've been wrong every fucking time you've done it. And so to now be like, I told you so, it's like, no. Because listen, if you said in April, come July, DeGrom and Lindor are going to be out and and then you like, fine. If you had a crystal ball, fine. But that is why this team would be canceled. Because like in my mind, the Pirates series, what did I say on this show the last couple weeks?
You said it. You called it.
2-5 or 3-4. I didn't necessarily predict that it was going to be as dramatic and gruesome as it was. So that does matter. But the reason why I had my faith tested was not because of just losing these games on the field. Because yes, they blew the save, and yes, some of it was ugly. But at the end of the day, that's just one L in the loss column. So like whatever. What tested my faith was the injuries. That's where I'm starting to go. I've never been this scared while being in first place. Like that is that, but that's because of the injuries, not because of just losing to the Pirates. Because that's what this team does. Even when they're good, they scare you to death and they make you want to rip your hair out. But it's the injuries that are the reason for concern. So you can't tell me I called it unless you predicted that we were going to lose our two most important pitchers and starting position players.
Like if this is the big one in the beginning of the second half, this is the big loss, the one that's going to make you like gut check that you have two of the guys out. If they're back in a month, then nothing really changes, and we're probably going to pick up a guy or two. Like they're saying maybe we'll go get Javi Baez now to fill in for Lindor in the meantime, and he just totally fucked the Cubs because it just leaked that he wants a $200 million extension. So now it's like now it's just a pure rental, and every team that's going to ask about him is going to be like, well, we're not paying him $200 million, so you're not getting any prospects. And we know you're not going to pay him, so now we have you over a barrel. If you go get Javi Baez, all these same fans that are canceling right now are going to be jumping right back on the bandwagon and going, oh, man, wait till Lindor gets back. Then we have Lindor at shortstop and Javi Baez at third/second. And then we can move McNeil around and move Dom Smith around. And, like, next thing you know, the team is stacked, and we're making a clear run to the playoffs. Yeah. Yes. So it's like it's in the moment. Yes, it's scary. But, like, DeGrom, the forearm thing gives cause for concern because it's his forearm. And, like, that's where he's going to generate all of his, like, wrist motion. But, like, if it's a 10-day IL and he's being super precautious all season long, which is driving me insane anyway, like if you're going to have all these precautionary, like hold me out, and then when we start playing the division rivals, he's like, okay, now I'm good, put me back in. Like, it is what it is. He's seeing that we're playing the Pirates and the Reds, and he's like, I'm going to take a couple weeks off, guys, and make sure that I can pitch when the Braves come to town. Like, who gives a shit?
Yeah, I hope that's the case. Like I don't know if we, a couple weeks ago, I believe I did even say, like, shut them down, take your time, because we are the class of this division. We're up this whole time. We can afford it. Now I'm starting to get a little nervous where it's like, yes, we've been injured, but also we're pretty much back to almost full strength. And other teams have been injured to some extent. And now it's not necessarily about injuries. It's more about playing up to your potential. And we haven't quite been doing that. So part of me does get nervous where it's like, all right, we're not really in any position to be taking series off here and there. But I don't know. Or maybe we are. Maybe in the clubhouse, they're like, chill. Like, we got this. We know the rest of these guys are garbage. We're fine. But, the Mets are the Mets still. And in year 5 of Steve Cohen, maybe we'll be able to call our shots and pick our spots. But right now, it still seems a little bit presumptuous to be like, we're good, we're set. So only time will tell on that one. But Can
I make a confession here? Now that we're in the Mets Fans Anonymous, this is the trust tree. We're all bearing our souls here. I'm not happy about the way the things have gone the last week, and I'm certainly not happy with the injuries.
Oh no. But
I will tell you, Kev, it was kind of nice to taste my own blood again. Like a box, it kind of felt good to be back in Panic City. It's like, this is my home. I don't like this fucking place. Yeah. It's the fucking worst place in the universe, but it kind of felt good. Like, it's like the sky is falling. It's like we're all on the same page, and we're starting to like eat each other. Like, it's just fucking chaos. I'll tell you. And you know what the best part is? You can blame. You can go, oh, this is LOL Mets. This is just typical Mets shit. Mets gonna Mets. I'm not doing that. I'm blaming Gary Thorne. It's a curse of Gary Thorne. Listen, I love Gary Thorne. Great voice.
I'm sick of this. People acting like Gary Thorne is like our fucking grandpa. Like, I get it. Familiar voice. He's a legend.
It makes you feel like a big hockey game's on. Let's be honest. It makes you feel like a big hockey game.
Doing the wrong fucking sport. He stunk this weekend. And I don't want to hear the monitor excuse because everyone else is doing it from the monitor and they're not nearly as bad as he was. They stunk it up on the field while he was there. He was terrible on the broadcast, and everybody just kept giving him this free pass. Like, oh, he's Gary Thorne. He's the best. People asking me if I would trade for him permanently. Are you fucking nuts? You want me to replace Gary Cohen with Gary Thorne? Are you fucking nuts? No.
The E at the end of his name, that's a pretentious E. Let's call it what it is. It's a pretentious E. What did they say in Family Guy? It insists upon itself. That E at the end of his name.
It insists upon itself. Absolutely. Fuck off with that nonsense. The amount of excuse making. Those home run calls were the worst I've ever seen. And like it was a ground ball to short the other day that he was like he didn't even know the terrible. F- all around. I'm sorry.
Especially when you have JD Davis coming back and it's like 2 home run game. You should be more pumped up than that. You should be getting dude. I mean, Gary would have been tossing his pens at Keith.
Yes.
Like full scream. And he can't even get his words out.
You know what is amazing? The human nature, man. Like it's not like he was gonna like lose his job. I mean, he kind of was gonna lose his job. Like he'll play somewhere where he would have been involved in the trade, but like he wants to be here. He wants that to be his hot corner, and it worked. You know, like a little bit of fucking fire under your ass, and next thing you know, you're playing with some urgency. It's amazing what you got. You know, that's why baseball managers. It's not really always about X's and O's to me. It's about managing the clubhouse and managing that. Like you got to push them without annoying them and light a fire under their ass without them feeling like they're not wanted. And bam, 2 bombs. And the fact that it almost didn't matter was fucking disgusting. But it's just amazing to see how that works. And that's where, would I like Chris Bryant? Sure. Would I like Chris Bryant with an extension? Maybe even better. But when you think about what it's going to cost you, because A, he's Chris Bryant, and B, the Cubs can't afford to get they have to get a haul back for their guy who was like the centerpiece of their championship team. Like he's going to come at a premium. And if JD's going to perform pretty damn close, if not like an exact match, do you really make that move in the first place? I mean, now I'm talking, he's my guy. JD's my guy, so I'm clouded. But, like what's it going to cost you? And if you get 80%, 90% of that production anyway with JD Davis, is it worth it? I don't know.
Well, it's like, is it worth it? But then it's like defense is part of the game, right? And then
yes, and he stinks at me, that's for sure. KB would be a huge upgrade. But
yeah, and then it's like the other side of it is if another team in the NL East looks at him, right? It's like and Chris Bryant goes to like the Nationals. So then it's like motherfucker. So that's kind of where I'm starting to think of it as well. But
we got Steve Cohen out here liking tweets of people saying go get Chris Bryant and Berrios. So he knows just how to fucking pull the puppet strings. But that's got to make you think that he's at least he's in buy mode, at least for the moment.
What do you guys prefer, though? Because do you want to be like the Yankees in the 2000s where they just go and buy every like fading all-star? Like, not to say he's fading because obviously he's having a great season, but like he's going to be moving along and you're going to have all this money tied up. And if you're trying to win in the next 3 to 5 seasons, you go to get him when it's like you need to be the push over the ledge. And I think I think that we need like pitching more so and like 1 or 2 like little guys that you could fit in for now and then figure it out. It's the playoffs. As long as you have good pitching and good bullpen service, which we do.
Yeah.
It should be fine.
Kyle, don't you forget it. Like he's forgetting Tyler McGill. The last episode, he was like, "Oh, McGill. Tyler McGill is a fucking stud. I don't want to hear
anything." Apparently, I mean, dude is dealing. He's pitching well. I feel like it's more one of those things like the book's not out on him yet, and people are going to catch up to him. But right now,
it's
so.
That's what I said. Yep.
Yeah. I think the pitching up front has been stellar, right? Minus. By the way, I didn't really catch a good replay. Was that ball just like very clearly fair with Taijuan Walker? Was there a debate to be had? I never actually saw.
I saw that it hit chalk, but
yeah. So besides that hiccup. And Stroman didn't pitch that great. DeGrom, Walker, Stroman has been stellar. The back end has been a little bit of smoke and mirrors. And so if you watch this team every day, you do know that they are in need of pitching. But when you look at the big picture, their pitching's been like top 3 and their offense has been bottom 3. So when people say, like, what do you need at the break? It's technically both. but it's definitely batting. Like, you do need help with pitching, but if McGill and these guys keep cobbling it together in the back end, technically you are okay. Or at least that's the stronger of the two, groups of your team. But we definitely need, they're bottom 3 in runs scored. So, you know what I mean? It's like, if you're just gonna look at the big picture with the numbers, we need more runs. And yeah, I would love some more pitching that's sturdy, and we don't have to rely on the McGills and the Petersons. But we definitely, for a fact, 100% need more runs.
Well, I mean, you have to score a run to win the game, right? Because you can't just have 0 runs. However, that pitching, it gets you in the door. It gets you to the dance. You could be a skinny, fat blogger. You have the fucking cream cheese body. As long as you got that nice hair popping, that's all that matters. And that is our pitching. Our pitching is the Kevin Clancy flow right now.
And that's why you got to go to Fleischmann Salon to get the look. Because Fleischmann Salon, it does a little bit of both for you. Because you get like a quality haircut. They know what they're doing. Their hair products will help you have a truly nice head of hair. But also, it can be a little smoke and mirrors if you go to my girl Erica and you're thinning up top or you don't have the best of hair. She knows how to maximize what you got. And that's what we need right now with the Mets. We need to maximize what we've got, and you need to go out there and get some new shit. So right now you got a nice head of hair. Right now you are the Mets. You got a decent head of hair, right? You go to Erica. She will make it rock solid. And then at the deadline, you bring in some of the hair paste and the hair cream and the sea salt spray and the hair gummies and the shampoo and the conditioner. And next thing you know, you're making a playoff push with that flow of yours. If you go there, they can dress you up nice for the time being, for the moment. You got a big night out. You want to look good that weekend. Go to the Fleischmann Salons here in Manhattan. Ask for Erica. Ask for any of the girls. You get hooked up. It's the long term where you can get all their hair care products. You can start with the shampoo and conditioner in the shower. You eat the gummies to get your hair to grow thicker, and the hair you have will shine brighter. You use the sea salt spray to give it a little bit of grit, and then you use the paste or the cream to style it up. You can do a la carte and pick all these things, or you can do the bundles. They have the Boys of Summer bundle, which is the sea salt spray and the hair paste. They have the We Got You Covered bundle, which is everything you need. All of it will make you have the hair you need to make that playoff push in the game of life. Go to FleischmannSalon.com, FLEISCH, FleischmannSalon.com. Go to shop, and is the promo code BELIEVE, Clem?
So, yeah. So if you, like you said, if you buy the bundle, you will save 50% off the normal pricing with the product. So like the We've Got You Covered kit and the Boys of Summer, people will come. Might be you, might be whoever you're going out to meet. People will come, right? People will most certainly come. So yeah, you go to FleischmannSalon.com. The entire shop is 20% off using promo code BELIEVE. This includes the bundle, so you get a little extra savings in there, a little double.
Yeah, so 20% off with the code plus the 15 for the bundle. You're getting I think it's 37.5% off. It comes out to be. It's
Uncle Stevie's coming himself with that kind of fucking savings right there.
Absolutely, baby. So check it out. But yeah, I mean, it's, to me, I need the bat. I need more runs. And when you see it, I mean, dude, the Conforto bomb was like the most needed run for him. Obviously, for me, for everyone, I'm so desperate for that comeback to be complete.
Yes.
And not only just because we needed it, but I swear to God, this fan base is the fucking worst, man. They're rooting against them. They want them to lose. They want to be right so bad. They want to rub it in my face so bad, and the positive fans so bad, that they are deep down in dark places they won't admit. They're happy, or they're like good. Yes, they lost. I swear to fucking Christ, they want to see them lose. And I know I've been accused of that in the past, and I just don't think what people understand is the magnitude of the shift to the Cohen era. Because there was part of me that was like, if we lose now, if we keep losing, the Wilpons have got to go eventually. Now that that's over, there's no more rooting against the Mets. There's no more wanting them to lose. There's no more wanting the failure of the ownership. Now is the time to be positive, to be vocal and supportive. It's the beginning of what we always said, Clem. The only thing we asked for, the only thing we wanted is new ownership. And we got it. So don't be the fucking asshole that now just moves the goalposts. Now, okay, we got the owner, but I don't think he spends enough. All right, we got the owner, but he didn't get it done fucking immediately, so we're going to hate on him. Oh, yeah, all we ever wanted was the big shortstop. Well, he's not performing, for the first couple months. We wish him the worst. Like, God, you guys make it so fucking hard to be a part of this.
They're complaining about the fucking weather. They can't
They're
complaining about the weather.
God, I mean, you are unbearable to be a part of. I hate being at the ballpark with them. I hate being on Twitter with them. I hate the fact that we're rooting for the same guys. Like, go be a Yankee fan. Get the fuck out of here, man. Now, I get it. I've always been negative, but now is not the time. Now we get to be positive. And also, you're never going to get a more likable team than this. Nobody is, you know what I mean? Everybody's cool. Even like Pete has his moments where he's a little try hard, but that's the worst we got. If the worst moment is Pete hitting bombs at the fucking home run derby, nodding his head, doing his dumb Donnie Stevenson thing, that's as bad as it gets for what we used to put up with. Fucking remember how you guys so quickly forget. This season has been awesome compared to the past. As frustrating as it's been a pleasure this season. Come on.
And that's it. And not the listeners. All of our listeners we like. We like our listeners. It's all the other people, the negative people. We don't like them. And listen, that's my biggest thing with the council. If you council, you're counseling the season on the entire team. And not just, Edwin Diaz, if he pisses you off. You get one, and it's a team. And you're counseling not only on Edwin Diaz, you're counseling on whatever bullpen guy you don't like, or Jared Eichhoff, or whoever the fuck's going to be starting these random games. You're counseling on the Alars. You're counseling on Jose Peraza, fucking big hit Jose. You're counseling on Jacob motherfucking DeGrom as long as his fucking arm is in one piece. You're counseling on Tomas Nido. You're counseling on Guillorme. You're counseling on the bench mob. You're counseling on the AAA mob. You're counseling on Dave Jost, the greatest fucking batting practice pitcher in the world, everything. And you're counseling, most importantly, on Stephen A. Cohen. You're saying, Stephen, your team is not good enough for me. It's fucking over no matter what you do. So you think about that, counselors. I have the fucking mentions. I have the receipts. Don't you dare fucking delete those tweets. We're in this together. I feel like fucking Will Ferrell in Old School right now. I'm like,
keep
our composure right now. And it was a
you know what? I don't even. I mean, you're a nicer guy than I am. I don't. We're not in this together. Get out of my life raft. Fuck you. Go drown. I don't even want to be. There's these moments in Major League where at the end everybody's high fiving Randy Quaid or whoever that actor is. Where he turns. I don't want that. I don't want to have the moment where it's oh, you guys finally came around, because I've been fucking barking at you all year to have some perspective and understand the difference between this year and the last 35 years and the difference of going forward. And they won't fucking listen. It's you don't deserve to be a part of it when it finally comes around. And again, I've heard these things about myself in the past, and I understand where they were coming from. But the big difference is being that I was diametrically opposed to the franchise itself because of the Wilpons. And now that's gone, either become a part of it, fall in line, or get the fuck out of here. What's the goddamn point? Rooting against the Wilpons, there was a point. But now that is no longer the case, what is the point of rooting against them so hard?
I'm telling you right now, the Mets fan base, I could just tell you, the Mets fan base in general, the great majority of us, if and when they win the World Series under Cohen and, with this team or another team, the Randy Quaids of the fan base will not be brought back with open arms and, just their head will be on a spike, and we will be dunking on them the entire offseason. So if you're a Randy fucking Quaid out there, don't think we're going to welcome you back with open arms. You are an enemy. We have friend, we have enemy. Randy Quaid, enemy. Fucking any of those fake fans, enemies. So either get on the fucking ship now or don't ever come on.
They're going to be the drunk assholes at the parade saying, oh, I knew it all along. Or they're waiting for the exact moment that they get bounced from the postseason or in the division to turn around and go, oh, I told you. This was always the way it was going to end. Instead of looking at what Kevin said, the big picture, which is it would be great if we win this year. Obviously, we all want to win this year. But in the grand scheme of things, we are in a great position moving forward. Yeah. And it's just, you can't see the trees through the forest type of shit where you're just so focused on this week, literally just this week, not even this season, to tell you that the season's over. That's bullshit.
Bro, I had people in my mentions saying, blow it up. They said this team clearly can't win together. These players can't win together. I was like, dude, this is quite literally year one of like all of these guys finally being together. This is a great, well, potentially great young core that like is only the beginning. It's just madness. I think there are 2 times where you can be truly openly vocal. I mean, listen, you can criticize your team always, right? That I'm okay with. But there are 2 times where you can really be like outwardly against it. One is old Mets, Will Pons, the regime, the ownership being the problem. 2, I also think I think Yankee fans right now have the right to kind of be like angry and blow it up when you are like you've had World Series or bust for like multiple years and and they're busting. It's like there's just nothing left. There's no moves left to make. You've got old infrastructure, Cashman guys. Like it's time to openly it's more like we got to pull the Band-Aid off here and be realistic about it. But to be anything in between that is like, what is even the goddamn point? And especially again with the likability, there's not one guy on this team I dislike. I always try to rack my brain. We got to get Joey Fuego in here. We kind of fell off. I was DMing with him when he was injured. But we got to get him back in there. Churv unfortunately fell off a little bit with him being the lead, the ringleader there. Shout out to our guy Trevor May who got that save yesterday. Like if he didn't get that save, man, I actually got to send him a message and like genuinely thank him because if they blew that game, I think I would have been like, I have to cancel. I'm sorry. This is just like my hands are tied here.
This entire episode sounds different if they lose yesterday because it would would have been worth fighting. I don't think we would have canceled, but it would have been like, all right, just hit us with all the negativity. Like I can't even fight it right now.
Now it would be complete despair.
What's that?
Complete despair because they haven't swept a single person all season long. So like to lose the way we lost and then get swept, like that'd be.
But the other side of it is like Travis Blankenhorn hits his first home run of his career. So we're getting a little bit of magic too. I'll tell you what though, I never want to see a Pirates again. That motherfucker Adam Frazier hits everything under the sun. Nagasaki or whatever the fuck. Like there's just like the names. Even that game, looking back now, that game, the bullpen game before the break, it was started by the DeJong guy. We said this is just bad juju. He got his tits lit up. It didn't matter. The fucking juju of DeJong just stood in the air and it stuck for a full fucking week. So I never want to see the Pirates again.
Yeah, the Pirates are the team that like we should have just steamrolled them and never even thought twice about them. But I've got walk-off grand slam haunting me for the rest of my life. You got Stroman picking fights with that big fucking doofus at first base. What happened to Stroh, by the way, when he was like bent over in the middle of that?
He got his foot stepped on. He thought he was bleeding. He thought he was bleeding. And you said he thought he was puking. He was going to start puking. I'm like, what the fuck? I thought
he was like physically ill because he was like, he had his hands on his fucking knees and he was bending over. And I was like, dude, you can't like pick the fight. And then, but I had visions of him like getting injured in that scrum. I had visions of Syndergaard like falling over. He was in the scrum. I was like, we're picking fights with the Pirates. Listen, I am a huge fucking believer of height doesn't measure heart and all that shit. But my man Stroh picked a fight with like O'Doyle Rules. That guy is a fucking meathead monster. I was like, shit, we're going to need some backup if people start throwing hands. Which, by the way, usually I like Stroman. I like Stroman a lot. I think Stroman he gets a bad rap, again, with our asshole fan base. There's so many Mets fans who hate on Stroh. But in this case, I think he was like totally in the right. Like he just got fired up because he struck that dude out, right? He was just like yelling at like out loud. And it wasn't like, fuck you. And then, anybody who gets upset anymore about emotion being shown, fuck that noise. But boy, height doesn't measure heart, but you better be ready when you pick a fight with that fucking guy, because that would not have gone well had it actually happened. But yeah, I mean, the fact that the Pirates, but I told you, man, I told you this was going to happen. And the good news is if I can keep my Metstradamus like hat on here and do some more predicting, the reason why I knew that we were going to go 2-5 or 3-4 is because the Mets make no sense. And the other side of that coin is that we're now going to go like sweep the Phillies or some shit, because that's how the script always plays out. They're so infuriating that they lose to the Pirates and then they go beat a team they really have no business beating. And all season long, we'll be saying to ourselves, man, if we had just gone 5-2 or 6-1 the way we were supposed to, we'd be up by 4 games right now. That's usually how it goes. So as down as you are about this, if my prediction vibe continues, that means there's, as Clem, as you always say, perfectly balanced as all things should be. There needs to be a yin to this yang. There needs to be another side of the coin that balances it all out. So just trust, hope that there's an equally good surprise coming, as bad as this was.
Because we got the Reds, we got the Blue Jays, we got the Braves and the Reds again. So, like, there's decent teams. We're not playing bad teams here. So it's like if they're going to bounce back, and the Reds just got swept, I think, by the Brewers. So this is the time to pounce. And if not, like, but they're fighting like we are right now. They're in the playoffs.
I was going to say, from here on out, I don't care what the schedule says. Like, it's a dogfight for the rest of the way now. Yeah, we got let's call it 10 weeks, and it's just going to be like nonstop. And it's going to be a tough schedule and tough with injuries. Like, it's not going to be easy. So, don't go. I thought that was crazy when people were like, oh, we'll beat up on the Pirates. You can't pencil shit in when it comes to the New York Mets.
Clem, so on the Facebook group, go join the Facebook group. We got to believe to ask us questions before the pod gets started. John Spencer Morris says, we're at the halfway point in the road to 96 because we got 48 wins. They have to basically win the next 2/3 of their remaining schedule. Do you think they have enough in the tank? Where are we at with the 96ers?
My official statement on the 96 bandwagon is this. I'm not fucking leaving. I'm not fucking leaving! I'm not going anywhere. I'm staying on this fucking ship. I'll be the last one to fucking. We might catch on fire, drown, whatever it may be. I'm not fucking leaving this wagon. We started this wagon. We fucking loaded up. We got cholera. We got typhoid. We fucking couple people drowned along the way. It doesn't fucking matter. Oregon is our 96 is our Oregon. We're getting there. If fucking fucking Oregon State himself, Michael Conforto, has to drag us there on his back and his pictures of his mom, he's gonna do it. I'm not fucking leaving.
Dude, there is no chance this team finishes with 96 wins because we're finishing with 97, Clem.
Yes,
we're finishing with 98. We're going past 99. We're going 100. Yeah! And then we're going to playoffs. Yeah! Fuck you guys. Fuck the haters. Now's the time to rally. Now's the time to get cocky. The deadline's coming. What if? And this is why I said this had shades of 2015. Let me ask you this, Kyle. You might know, and maybe you do too, Clem. Where were we standings wise in 15 prior to the trade deadline?
Like you mean like on July 31st?
Yeah, like roughly. Like, were we a first place team during that first half, or was it?
No,
no, right?
We had Billy Johnson. We had fucking Mayberry Jr. as our 4-batter.
So did we surge and make like a huge overtaking the division?
We were 2 games back of the Nats on July 31st. Now this date, July 19th, which this is like Padre territory, right? That fucking game from hell. Right. We were 2 games back, so we were basically just coasting there behind the Nats.
So that's why this feels like 2015 to me, because I remember writing a blog saying Kunzel to Sison with an asterisk, and I said pending upon the trade deadline, because this team is good, and if they make a move, everything can fall into place. So you get Kelly Johnson, Juan Uribe, Cespedes, and Conforto, and next thing you know, 4 guys change the whole complexion. That's what's going on right now, except we're already in better position. We're already in first place. It does feel like this team, as constructed, is going to run out of gas, is going to limp a little bit. It will be hard to really, as is, go make this move. But if the deadline goes well, could you imagine if somehow there's a Cespedes type acquisition? If there's we're not going to get a call up like Conforto, but let's just say Conforto himself starts to play. If any of these guys just decide to put it together, and then there is a breath of fresh air that comes in, like, woo! I'm Chris Bryant. I'm a fucking supermodel. I'm a world champion. And maybe it's him, maybe it's not. But just if you're one of the haters, just remember that's how this felt in 2015. There were guys like me being like John Mayberry, fuck Jr., Eric Campbell's of the world, Ty Kelly's, and everything can change. So it's not outside the realm of possibility, and then you'll look like a real asshole with egg on your face. So you gotta just remember and believe in these things, because God, I would hate to be one of these assholes on the outside looking in if and when they do put it together.
We like
the ride too. Fuck, it's year one. Be there for the ride, man.
I couldn't imagine, because once the Mets are out of it, I just don't care about baseball anymore. I'm not like the NFL. If the Giants suck, I'm like I could watch every second of every NFL game. It's just the kind of fan I am. Baseball, it's my 162. It's fucking tunnel vision. You care a little bit about the teams around you. Other than that, I don't care. What's the point of fucking being a baseball fan if you're just going to give up by fucking April, May, June, or July at this point? Especially with a good team, with a good owner that's going to pay the money. You might as well just fucking enjoy it. You said, I got the kitchen going on upstairs. They're renovating. This is like, if people right now, like at my kitchen being like, oh, that kitchen looks like shit. It's like, yeah, everything just got demolished. That's the way this team is. We're ripping apart the Wilpon regime. Uncle Stevie's still trying to fix the minor leagues. He's trying to fix the weather for all you motherfuckers. He's going to get it done. Everyone just take a fucking step back and just enjoy this ride a little bit for what it is. Now, if bad news comes from the injury front with the greatest pitcher in the universe, that could be something that could just stick a dagger in your heart. I've come to peace. Lindor is out at least a month. It sucks, but it is what it is.
I think Lindor's out for a month, and I don't think. Listen, the worst word in the English language is oblique.
Yeah.
It's the worst. And we saw this with Beltran. I am not going to count on Lindor. I thought we were going to have a second half that like bounces him back. If he plays at all, you're not the same player when you have a strained oblique. So, like, I'm not counting on anything from him anymore. Anything you get from him is a problem in my mind.
Didn't Guillermo say it felt like he was getting stabbed with a knife when he had his oblique? So that's pretty bad.
Sport and the movements you got to make, it's just the worst thing you can have happen.
Yeah,
and he's a switch hitter, so it's like he's getting it from both ends. He can't even take hacks one way or the other. He's gonna fucking tweak it.
Yep. So the DeGrom thing is just going to be a guillotine over our heads for as long as it lasts. Even when if he comes back and he throws 2 fucking DeGrom games, you're going to be like, all right, like next start though could be the one where he leaves after the second inning and then we kind of shut him down. It's just going to hang there the rest of the season, maybe the rest of his fucking career at this point. Oh. But other than that, like just enjoy this shit a little bit. And granted, this is coming before I have no idea what this Red series is about to unearth on us. So.
Wait, I know. Follow the Instagram account for the live reactions.
Yes. This is when it's going to get tuned up.
Also, be on the lookout. We got Jesse Winker coming on. What, this week? Next week?
Thursday.
Yeah, the Wink Man will be on. He went on another podcast and said that the Mets fans were the worst like trolls he had encountered in his career. So we're gonna chop it up with him. There's some fun things to look forward to. I guess you just never know what's going on. I felt bad. I said, I'm going to forget about this game. We ended up coming back, so egg on my face. But I said, forget about this game. It's over. I'm going to go enjoy Keegan's birthday. And Frank said to me, well, at least you've got that. Like, go enjoy. And I was like, God damn it, Frank, you depressing son of a bitch. But if you're putting everything into this and they're disappointing you, and I guess it just depends on how you watch baseball. I used to be like, I hated watching baseball because I hated the people I was rooting for. And now I just have a different mentality and a different outlook. And I guess you can't make people feel that way. I mean, dude, when JD Davis hit his second home run, I got so loud, and Shay crawled out of bed and she came walking through the kitchen. She like poked her head in because we had sung the 877 Runs Now song together, and he hit another one. And so she came out and was like, what's going on? And I was like, I don't care. They could lose every fucking game from here on out. This moment is awesome. So, with Cohen came this whole new mentality for me, and I enjoy it. And I think I would just challenge or try it out. Just try it out, Mets fans. It's different now. So try out the positive life. I would have never thought I was capable of it. And look how fucking nauseatingly positive I've been all season. I disgust myself. Me from 5 years ago would kick my own ass right now. But it's the better way to enjoy baseball. Give it a try, because now you can. Now it's
I think someone's getting murdered upstairs in my house.
It's the perfect time anyway. It's the perfect time to wrap up. I was like, is he playing a sound effect or something? I don't know what's going on. Just know, just remember that you got to believe.
Gotta believe.